Welcome to today's Explainer. Right now, we're looking at something that is absolutely crucial for the future of practically every family and business owner out there. We're talking about the ultimate blueprint for the modern financial professional. How do they actually secure multi-generational wealth under today's incredibly high Canadian financial standards? Let's dive right into this, because honestly, the old way of just picking a few stocks and crossing your fingers, yeah, that is completely obsolete. So, here's the core problem we're all facing. How on earth do you secure a financial future that lasts for generations when the rules of the game just keep changing? We've got an aging population, literally the largest generational wealth transfer in history happening as we speak, and complex new technologies that are totally reshaping the landscape. To really understand the solution, we've got to understand the people at the center of this massive shift. Which brings us right to Chapter 1, the modern wealth landscape. We're seeing some massive demographic and technological shifts in Canadian wealth right now. It's evolving faster than ever. And there's this really fascinating contrast between our major demographic groups. On one side, we've got the retiring generation, our baby boomers, right? They're transitioning from just accumulating assets to figuring out how to actually convert that wealth into a lasting legacy and a meaningful retirement. But then, on the flip side, we have Gen X and millennials. They are incredibly tech-savvy, heavily focused on navigating the gig economy, preparing for those inheritances, and frankly, they are way more risk-aware, mostly because of the economic volatility they've grown up with. A truly modern financial blueprint has to speak perfectly to both sides of this equation. So what exactly qualifies as high net worth in this modern landscape? Well, the benchmark is typically $1 million. But, and this is a super important point, that means $1 million in investable liquid assets. So as awesome as it is, no, your vintage comic book collection or the equity locked up in your house, that doesn't count here. We're talking about liquid capital that is ready to be deployed, managed, and protected. Okay, so who actually holds this wealth? As you'll see, there are four main slices here, representing the truly diverse needs of modern Canadian investors. We've got professionals and executives, inheritors and new immigrants, and then the two absolutely fastest growing wealth segments out there, entrepreneurs and retirees. Think about a local small business owner. Let's call him Alex, okay? Alex's financial needs as an entrepreneur trying to transition his business are going to be vastly different from, say, a retired corporate executive. The modern financial professional simply has to be equipped to handle all of these unique profiles. Now, to serve those really diverse needs, the industry has naturally organized into three distinct channels. We've got fully integrated private wealth channels, and they offer the whole shebang, everything from banking to trusts, right under one roof. Then there are semi-integrated full-service brokerages offering comprehensive investment and planning services. And finally, monoline firms that focus purely on specialized private investment counsel. But here's the thing, regardless of the channel, they all share one universal goal, and that's to provide comprehensive, family-focused wealth planning. All right, moving on to Chapter 2, Navigating Canadian Financial Safety Standards. Because, let's face it, building wealth is really only half the battle. Protecting it within a strict regulatory environment is what actually secures your future. And first and foremost here is privacy. You might have heard of PIPEDA. It is the absolute gold standard in Canada for protecting personal information in commercial activities. In this age of constant data breaches, your financial professional literally has to adhere to the strictest safety protocols. And this goes hand in hand with really rigorous anti-money laundering rules. They aren't just pushing paper around. They are actively shielding your financial identity and your data. Next up, we've got this massive push for absolute transparency, championed through strict client relationship models. This is all about plain language principles. Basically, your professional should be handing you crystal clear fee statements, performance reports that, actually make sense to read, and total disclosure of any potential conflicts of interest. This makes sure every single piece of advice perfectly aligns with top-tier Canadian financial literacy standards. You should literally never be in the dark about what you're paying or how your investments are actually doing. And if you happen to have assets across the border, well, things get even more complex. Modern professionals have to navigate international tax rules seamlessly through protocols that are perfectly aligned with the Canada Revenue Agency, or CRA. So whether you've got a beautiful winter property down south or you're juggling international business interests, a robust blueprint ensures you are fully compliant and totally tax efficient on a global scale. Let's jump into Chapter 3, Essential Competencies and the Specialist Team. So what actually makes a top-tier financial professional in this incredibly complex environment? Honestly, the technical skills required today are heavy-hitting. We're talking about designing highly tax-efficient accumulation strategies, utilizing advanced risk management to protect your assets, and perhaps most importantly, converting those assets into lifelong income. Plus, they've got to flawlessly execute multi-generational wealth transfers. This isn't just, picking a few mutual funds anymore. This is managing complex corporate structures, trusts, and even philanthropic giving. But here's where the modern blueprint really truly shifts. The absolute best professionals today act as what we call transition specialists. They coach clients way beyond just stacking up money. They help them actually find life fulfillment. Think back to our small business owner, Alex. When Alex retires, he isn't just losing an income source, right? He's transitioning his entire identity. A real transition specialist guides families through these massive emotional and structural life changes, directly linking their money to their actual life meaning. It's a total game changer. And look, because no single person can possibly know everything about tax law, estate planning, and investments, the modern standard demands a team approach. Think of your advisor as the quarterback, but they are backed up by a specialist team of accountants, legal counsel, trust officers, and insurance experts. Whether those experts are sitting in-house or externally sourced, this fully integrated team is what truly fortifies your wealth. All right, that brings us to Chapter 4, the Wealth Management Process. This structured, basically masterclass blueprint boils down to a really rigorous 4-step process. Step 1, understanding the client. Step 2, formulating the comprehensive plan. Step 3, formalizing and implementing it. And Step 4, ongoing reporting and rebalancing. Let's break these down quickly because the details really do matter here. Step 1 is absolutely critical, and it goes way, way beyond just checking boxes on basic intake forms. A true professional really digs into the emotional and behavioral drivers behind your money. What are your real fears? What's your actual risk tolerance when the market takes a sudden dive? Understanding the deep psychological connection you have with your wealth is literally the only way to build a plan that you're actually going to stick with. Then we move on to steps 2 and 3, where the professional formulates and implements a totally customized plan. This is not some cookie-cutter portfolio. We're talking about integrating tax optimization, estate structures, and dynamic asset allocation into a formalized wealth policy. It's putting the blueprint into action and doing it so it's perfectly aligned with CRA guidelines to maximize your after-tax return. And then step 4. This step proves that real wealth management is an ongoing, dynamic relationship. It is definitely not a one-and-done deal. The plan requires continuous monitoring, really meticulous annual reviews, and portfolio rebalancing. Because, as your life changes and evolves, your blueprint has to adapt right alongside it. Finally, Chapter 5, the future of wealth. Any modern blueprint today has to account for the incredible technologies that are completely reshaping finance right now. Top professionals are fully embracing tech integration. They use robo-advisors to help clients hit those simpler, automated savings goals. They leverage artificial intelligence to crunch millions of data points for hyper-precise forecasting and tax planning. And they are fully equipped to safely guide clients through the wild volatility and complex rules of digital assets, like cryptocurrency. They don't fight the future, right? They actively use it to enhance your security and keep your wealth way ahead of the curve. So we have to ask the ultimate question to leave you with today. Does your current financial strategy actually meet the standards of a modern, multi-generational blueprint? Are you getting radical transparency, a fully integrated team of experts, and a transition plan that truly focuses on your life's fulfillment? Take a hard look at your advisory relationships today, because securing tomorrow, that requires building on the absolute right foundation right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.